Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and welcome back everybody to a bit more of our solo Geomancer challenge, where I'm going to be attempting to beat the flower boss next. Which, oh boy, this might be a bit more difficult than it should be. Because we are kind of really reliant on getting lucky, since effectively we have a chance to cause Meteor, which is actually better than Meteor because it's Earth Element, and Earth Element is boosted thanks to our Gaia gear by 50% in damage, so we will deal good damage. But because we are effectively only shoot 4 of those Meteors, it's random what it's going to hit. And 2 of the flowers are really dangerous, and if they hit us, we are either paralyzed or confused, which is both really bad. FF5, but it's quest 64. Quest 64, where? I'm actually mildly tempted to play that game sometime. The Japanese version did fix a number of issues. It is quite different, apparently. Either way, let's get lucky. So, the way we get lucky is by... So here's a question. Should I try to confuse the little flowers on the far left? So the 2 flowers on the left are the ones that confuse and paralyze. Confusion is worse, in a sense, because it removes more or less 2 turns from me. But paralyze is also kind of worse, because I lose a flat amount of like 3 turns. And I might not be able to do anything in between. Either way, usually at the beginning of this fight, for some reason, the flowers just die and respawn. I don't know why. So I think I'm just gonna go for terrain and hope for the best. Earthquake should kill all the flowers that are present. 1122 damage to the main flower, which has about 12,000 HP. So if we keep getting earthquakes, that would be perfect. But we also have other options or possibilities. Alright, for some reason, as I said, the flowers die sometimes. I think this time they're going to stay. So what I will do is I'm actually going to attack the far left flower, hoping to confuse it. Oh, shoot. Right. Because that flower literally just inflicted me with the darkness status. And now we're stunned. So, the main thing is, we can get confused while we are paralyzed, but we cannot get punched out of confusion while we are paralyzed. So, yeah. Effectively, we're going to get plinked to death. So, I think what I want to do is I can seemingly use terrain twice before the little flowers start attacking. The very first time when it's an earthquake, this seems to be kind of the result. The bottom left flower appeared to have respawned and immediately attacked. So I think what I want to do is I want to use terrain once, and then wait until the bottom left flower respawns, and then immediately use terrain again, hoping to kill it with whatever we get from the terrain move. That is currently the plan. Hey, I might actually get a turn. Oh, maybe? Yeah, we got a turn. Okay, we have about 2000 damage from the hero plant, so it's definitely doable. Even if it's not exactly realistic or reliable in any capacity. Cave in, let's hope that we hit the main flower and the left ones. That is good. Alright, that's another 1000 damage, so we are about a quarter through the damage. So, yeah. I may want to heal, but now I'm going to be paralyzed, so that's kind of the downside. But it's definitely doable, we just need to get lucky. I don't really know how that luck is going to supposed to look. On the bright side, if we are already paralyzed, the paralyzed timer does not reset. So that's nice. It would be really nice if I couldn't get blinded, because then I could more reliably use my dancing dagger to either kill or potentially confuse, which is the best solution, the flowers on the far left. Because Preferably I wouldn't kill all of the flowers at the same time. Do I have any elixirs left? I have one. I have to farm some new ones anyway, so let's just try and invest them. Because if I don't survive, it's like game over anyways. And as you could see, this is possible to actually get turns, even though it's kind of unlikely. Oh. Nice! This actually is not looking too bad. We have about 4,000 and some change damage on the main flower. And respawns all of them immediately, of course it does. Cave-in can be good. Brown flower, that's a good one. That's a good one. Nice. Oh, that's really good actually. That's really, really, really good. That is exactly what we want to see. Night Transporter, welcome. I'm doing quite fine, thank you. How are you doing? I really wanted an earthquake cave-in, because again, killing all the flowers, it will just respawn all the flowers, which is no good. Ah, don't use Gust. Gust has really low base attack, and the flowers have really high basic defense, especially, well, magic defense, so the low attack is just nullified if it doesn't hit strong enough. No! Oh. By the way, the flowers have effectively a 1 in 3 chance to not attack each time they get a turn. So we kind of need the flowers on the far left to skip like 2 turns in a row, both of them, in order to get a turn. Which is really unlikely, but it can happen. How's Geomancer treating us? Well, we just restarted, and this is pretty much expected the way it is working right now. We can see it's definitely doable, but, well, we will require a lot of patience and a fair bit of luck. And I think the patience part is a little bit tricky sometimes. So essentially we need to get hit by one of the flowers and not get confused at the same time in order to get a turn. But because the bottom left flower keeps paralyzing us, we are never going to get knocked out of confusion. We need specifically to come out of paralyzation, be hit by one of the flowers that is not the confusion flower, in order to snap off of both confusion and paralyzation. Alrighty. This is probably not gonna turn out in our favor here. There we go. Oh, I guess we have 1 HP left. But pretty much no matter what, we will die. I guess technically there is one way of surviving here, and that is if the Dancing Dagger procs drain, as in life absorb, onto ourselves, because we can actually absorb more HP than what the target has with life drain. We effectively would deal 1 damage to our character. No, actually we don't deal any damage to our character, and just regain however much damage we deal. You can actually heal yourself by draining life off of yourself. It's kind of curious. Welp. Welp indeed. So the current leveling goal is going to be level 46 in order to try and take on X-Death at the end of World 2. Which I calculated should give me an additional attack multiplier for dealing damage. Gust is, by the way, kind of the lowest chance of occurring of all the things here. Hey Topaz Shot, welcome to you, I hope you're doing well. Cave-in is good. Only kill the life flower please, far left. Not that. That one is good. Alrighty, the little flowers, oh that's really good damage, that's 3000. The left flower, the flowers only have 100 HP, so they die super quickly. Alright, I'm actually going to try and no! Why were you able to move? Root, and we are probably going to get locked into the thing right here. I even got my own turn. And immediately confused again. Yeah, they can do that. And we're paralyzed now. So yeah, if we were able to equip the bone mail, this actually would solve a lot of problems. It would solve the problem of having to equip an ancient ring, because the bone meal also prevents the aging status, which is, well, the only status we actually resist in this entire battle. The bone meal would also resist poison status, which is really nice. Not necessary, but the taking damage does eventually add up, alongside all the blink damage from those little guys. And then also on top of that, there is, of course, the issue of the paralyzation and confusion. You cannot get confused with the bone meal equipped. Ah, so close. You're paralyzed again, just when I inputted my command. So we cannot get confused while having the bone meal equipped, so you're effectively immune against 4 of the 5 status effects those things throw at you. Only paralyzation goes through the bone meal. So yeah. You could effectively just repeatedly attack that one flower. Since you are also not blinded, you would be able to more reliably deal with that one flower. But yeah. You blame me for the million status effects on wells. I mean, I guess I did bring wells into this location. But he did agree to it. It's fine in the long run, right? In theory, at least when the player does it, when you attack with a status effect that the target is already inflicted by, like sleep, and then you apply that status effect again. Alright, let's just count this as a death. Then you apply that status effect again with the same attack. It actually knocks the target out of the sleep status. Let's say you have a Mystic Knight attack with the Sleep Blade. Sleep Blade, it always hits. If the target is not immune to sleep, it will be put to sleep. But if the target is already asleep, it effectively will try to apply the sleep status, but, well, it's already asleep, but simultaneously will knock it out of the sleep status because you attack it. So the result is that it's no longer asleep in the end. And I think Confusion should work the same, but I'm actually not sure about that. It's going quite okay, we just need to get lucky here, and that's how it is. No, frogs are friends, not food, come on. That's kinda rude. Terrain. Haven is a good start. Left flowers, please. Wrong. Okay, one of the flowers dead, and that was a little bit of damage on the main flower. Far left flower is dead just before it... You know what? I think on the second one I should just wait until all the flowers respawn. It's a bit spooky. But I think they effectively will respawn just before they attack, right? There we go. Now I want the terrain. Earthquake! Very good. Which should reset their ATB. Probably. Oh, do I get a turn? Oh, it didn't Cave-in would have been so good right here. It didn't respawn the little flowers. It doesn't seem to do that 100% of the time. Okay, far left flowers, please. Not that, not that. No. Wrong flowers. I hope I get a turn before they get... Nope. Getting paralyzed here. I always think you're rude. Well, you're putting my friends into the food box. Come on. That is kinda rude. Did you hear random Keshwara? Probably. And that's kind of the main problem about the paralyzation. We need to refill our ATB, the entire ATB, before we get another turn after getting out of paralyzed status. So that's that. Either way, the paralyzed flower hitting us while we're confused does not knock us out of confusion. If you'd like to hear more macro noise, there is various amounts of bits you could throw at Kishura's channel. Just saying. Oh. That's unusual. Wells actually got to hit himself. And now he's paralyzed again. The main thing is, I could level up to just increase my damage at least, and also slightly reduce the duration of how long I'm paralyzed. Very slightly. But the thing is, that is almost pretty much not worth it in the sense for that amount to level up. Plus, I will want to farm a wall ring in the barrier tower, which means I can't really level up too highly, since I do not want to be any higher than level 46. You know what? I'm actually just going to take this time while getting plinked to death, like usual, I guess, to make sure that I'm using the correct formula for the damage of Gale Cut, or whatever it's called. Just making sure, yeah, Gale Cut is air. Right, also +1 death, that is just going to be a thing. So here's the thing. I think somebody trying to do a Geomancer solo challenge is probably a lot more frustrating than a dancer, because at least for a dancer, you know what you're getting into, because you know it is just, oh well, it's a 1 in 4 chance to actually deal any reasonable damage. Whoop-de-doo. And you at least know what you're getting into with that. But for a Geomancer, it's like, Geomancer can't be so amazingly good if you get lucky. And then also the additional thing is, with a dancer, in theory, you can just level up to level 99 and deal so much more damage automatically. For a Geomancer, it's more a case of, well, if you level up too high, your chance of getting the appropriate damages done to the enemies is going to stagnate effectively. What? You get to attack? Wow. Alright. That's unfortunate. Now the far left flower probably gets to attack too. You're blinded. So I would like to have Cave in, kill the left flowers. Not too late. You know what? If I don't get a good start, I'm just gonna soft reset, because the likelihood of getting plinked to death is kind of high here. If we get a good start with, let's say, about 3,000–4,000 damage on the main flower, and the little ones are not automatically just all respawning, then I will probably just leave it at that and just try. But chances are really high that we just, over the course of 2 or 3 minutes, we just get blinked to death. So I think it makes more sense to just reset. Alright, looking for Gale Cut as what kind of damage formula it uses. Gale Cut uses damage formula 06. I will want to take a look at this. The terrain, hopefully a good cave in, let's see. Oh, that's really good damage. Alright, the correct flowers died. No damage on the main flower though. I'm actually going to do the thing that I mentioned before, hopefully confusion, no confusion. On the bright side, even from the back row, I deal just enough damage with the dagger in order to kill this thing. No darkness, please. Ah. So I'm gonna go for terrain instead. I forgot about Gust. We can of course get Gust. The slowest chance of occurring, but it can occur of course. And I think it will get a turn just before we go. Unless it skips its turn, which would be lucky. Oh, I think it skipped the turn. Nice. Alright, 1,188 damage. Damage formula. No! The best opportunity for a cave-in! Ruined! Wells, please! That's 3 times gust. That's not a good start. Right. Good evening to you. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. Oh, I actually get a turn. Let's see if we get lucky. Left flowers, please. Alright. One of them is dead. None be dealt another 1000 damage. That's okay. I will attempt to go for the 1 in 8 Tempting Tango on this flower that is left on the left side, I think. It's a sword then, so at least it's going to die. So that's a plus. So that's kind of a 2 in 8. It's a good outcome. Alright. Should I wait for terrain? Or should I just go for it? As in wait until it respawns to flowers is the question, I guess. But here's an interesting thing. The big flower does not appear to respawn the little flowers nearly as often if the little flowers are still around. So maybe it would be more pragmatic for me to just use physical attacks from here to avoid killing the little flowers. And then again, the only physical attack that really works is a sword stance, so I just hope for good cave-ins. Main flower, please, leave the little flowers alone. Ah. Ah ha ha ha! That's ugly. Yeah, exactly. As you can see, it just respawns the little flowers. And we get another gust. That is the 4th one. And we're cursed. Alright, let's reset. Was a good start in terms of getting lucky enough to get turns in, but the turns were really no good. Greetings to you and untap me, bro. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. And also welcome to you and Beyond Chaos. How many languages can you speak? I currently speak 2 languages fluently. I did learn French in school. I was forced to learn it again and again and again and a bit more. But I've never used it beyond school, so it's more like I have a very basic knowledge of it. Nothing more. Alright, let's help for a good cave-in. Left flowers, please. Even though the left flowers are pretty much guaranteed to die before they do anything right here. Or not, I guess. It's still good to kill them so they reset their ATB. If they die on their own, it does not reset the ATB. Well, come on. You're signing your own death contract there by using Gust instead. Alright, I'm actually going to wait here until the bottom left flower respawns, because it will get a turn as soon as it's coming back, so I'll just want to use terrain there and hope the left flower there does not go before it goes. Left flowers, please. Not that, not that, not that, not that. Wow. Yeah, we need to get luckier than that. Let's see when I can find the damage formula. Oh wow, we did get lucky to actually get an earthquake in. Alright. Not too bad so far. Alright, let's see. That's good. Ah, not even any damage on the main flower. And we're paralyzed. Okay. Damage formula 0-6. Magic attacks. Light staff, staff of judgment. Aegis field check, use magic damage parameters. Spell attack divided by 8. Level times 256 plus 4. Hey, we actually get another turn, that's very sweet. Right, a little bit of damage on the main flower. That's actually pretty solid. Can still get cursed, but... Ooh, well. Effectively, whenever we get paralyzed, we need to get lucky enough that the curse flower skips its turn when we are no longer paralyzed. That is kind of exactly what needs to happen in order for us to get a turn, which is a 1 in 3 chance. And as soon as we get confused, that chance is dropped into pretty much 0. Actually, I adjusted it pretty heavily, Dark JDL, because it doesn't quite work like that for food thingies. Let's see, where is it? Do I get actually a turn here? I got a turn! Nice! Let's see. What do we get? Nope. Yes. Yeah, okay. Hey Newster, welcome. How are you doing? So getting cursed right after we take a turn is not nearly as bad. Even though it's still kind of bad. Sheep. Alright, let's see. What did he say? To the brim with of whelps. Oh. Yeah, I made that mistake there. I adjusted it, thank you for notifying me. Ah, that's the worst situation for Gus, because I wanted to heal the next turn that we get. Hoping that we got an earthquake, but this is pretty much it, I think. Oh! Oh shoot, I see. Yeah, I did not activate the timer actually. I forgot about that. Sorry. Thank you for notifying me. So, we are streaming for about 40 minutes. I usually take like 15 minutes until I get started, so plus 25 of that is 12, 15-ish. Alright, thank you for the heads up. And plus 1 death. Also, welcome to you, Nister. I hope you're having a pleasant time. Nah, I just forgot to set a timer. It's not actually 0 seconds. That would be kind of weird. Unfortunately, we do not implement time travel into this run. Rotates. You avert there. Let's see. That's the good flower. That's 400 damage. That's pitiful. That's kind of pretty much the lowest possible amount that it could be, I think. Alright, that was the... Wow! Never mind, there was 12 right there. That was a really low roll. Okay, I'm going to try and confuse... Never mind, this confuses me instead. Hopefully one of the other flowers hits me soon. So I get unconfused. Thank you. And... yeah. Right. Not a good start, let's just get a better one. If I don't deal at least like 3000 damage, and already get into this cycle of I probably don't get a turn anymore, not really worth pursuing, I don't think. Those bone dragons really don't like me. They keep attacking me whenever I reload a save. His fight is giving you flashbacks of the chemist round and the bad luck with Grand Cross. Oh, don't worry. We'll have to deal with a lot of Grand Crosses as well with the Geomancer. That's just kind of the nature of it. At least we have a way of area of affecting all of the parts down simultaneously. So that's kind of nice. Let's see. What do we get? 192. Okay. Pretty solid damage. Unfortunately, it didn't hit the flower on the left, although it will die anyways. So I think I will try to confuse this flower. Didn't work, but that's okay. Indeed, just started. Hey Cross Product, welcome to you. I hope you have a pleasant day so far. No! Alright, if we don't get out immediately, I'll just reset this. Right. It would be really nice if you could actually block those attacks, but nope, it's not a thing. Good night and rest well. And welcome to you, Racodactylus. Hope you have a pleasant day so far as well. Greetings. Geomancer is, well, turning out to be a Geomancer, which means situationally really good and really random. We've actually had this talk, I think last time, about Geomancer. If Geomancer had, let's say, a thing that it can unlock where you can choose which spell you can cast from Geomancy, like, let's say, once you master Geomancer, you have another, like, menu, like white, blue, or black magic and such, where instead of just randomly choosing an ability, it will just, you can invest a certain amount of MP in order to specifically choose the ability that you want to cast, which would be kind of perfect, because situationally Geomancer is crazy good. And we are already paralyzed. We have 2000 damage on it, so I'll probably just try to play it out. I really hoped you would skip your turn there. Now you're paralyzed. One of his most hyped job. Yeah, Geomancer can be really good. I like Geomancer. But it does have pretty substantial weaknesses, as you might be able to tell, in terms of, well, power, really. More specifically, consistency is more like the word we're looking for. It has such high magic value, or magic power value, that it's kind of a shame that there's no menu to choose the Geomancy through leveling up. Probably one of the things that I would change. Let's see, if there was one thing that I would change about all of the characters that we have done a solo challenge in so far. Oh, we actually get a cave in. Let's see what we get. That's really good damage there. That's also the correct flower there. Well, there goes the luck. Goodbye. Alrighty, let's see. For White Mage, I think White Mage is actually perfectly fine as a class, even though solo character challenge-wise, it's weak, but that's kind of not the point of the class. White Mage is crazy good with what it does best. So I don't think I would necessarily change anything about White Mage. What about Dragoon? Let's see. Dragoon is one of my favorite types of classes. What could you do? So one of the biggest tricking things about a Dragoon in my book is that Dragoon doesn't really have a lot of stuff going for it, so to speak, in terms of mixing and matching it with other characters and abilities. So that's kind of one of its biggest weaknesses. I really like Dragoons. I think the main thing I would do for a Dragoon is maybe actually give them the ability to equip swords as well. Yeah, I think I would give them the ability to equip swords on one hand. And then also maybe get some more spears that have a more variety of things they can do. Let's say a spear that can confuse an enemy. Kind of like there's a sword that can put an enemy to sleep and stuff like that. So they have a bit more variety on what they can do and achieve with their characters and classes. Hey Onslaught Gamer, welcome. I'm doing quite alright, thank you. I hope you're doing well as well. It suffers a no AoE. Yeah. I like how the Dragoon Boots or Dragoon Horn in Final Fantasy VI effectively allows you to jump multiple times on random targets. Could be kind of nice for this Dragoon here as well. I'm also trying to think of how it could potentially add stuff for utility-wise for other classes too. A 15 chance to do a diagonal landing from jump to do AoE. I wouldn't... Personally, I wouldn't like it to be a random chance, but I like the idea a lot actually. That's pretty decent. We have about 3000 damage on the main flower so far. Alright, let's get lucky please. Good. Not so great. That's actually pretty solid damage. We are almost halfway through the main flower's HP. Unfortunately we get paralyzed here. Charge jump. Could be interesting. Maybe... Let's say, how about this? One of the things about the Dragoon is that it doesn't really offer much in the way for other classes to do things, or like it doesn't really mesh well. So how is this? Basically, you have a special type of jump where instead of just executing an attack, you effectively jump, and then the next thing that happens is you can take an action in the air while you're still up there, any action you want, like cast a spell or so. And that could be effectively you're out of harm's way for a little bit longer while up there in the air, kind of giving you a little bit of leeway. It started so nice, and then you mess it up with 2 times gust wells. Not good. The Geomancer outfit makes him look like a gnome. Yeah, it does have a bit of a gnome, I do agree. It's a garden gnome. I like to think of it just kind of as a pyjama. He's sleepy. Sleepy little wells. Aww. Almost got our turn, and then we get paralyzed. And confused. Cozy pajamas. Alright, it maybe does something for other characters. So yeah, I would give Dragoons a sword and maybe another ability that just kind of meshes better as a mixing and matching class, just to make it more interesting. I don't necessarily want to make them any more powerful in terms of dealing damage or so, but I love having more utility. My attitude towards sad rolls is inspiring. I actually learned a lot of that from a certain streamer and amazing personality called PJ, where I noticed when he was just doing attempts at speedrunning games and effectively RNG or bad luck got in his way, where an enemy was just not behaving in a way where it would be more favorable. He just kind of, instead of getting angry or anything like that, he just praised the enemy. Alright, that was actually a pretty clever move, I give you that. And that is kind of something I thought, I like the way you handled this, it's pretty sweet. I'll try to adopt that. Yeah, probably. So, alrighty, what about Dancer? Dancer's signature move is being able to dance and also kind of being able to equip ribbons. Maybe kind of like the Geomancer, I would give a Dancer the ability, once they master their class, to choose which dance they want to execute. And that would actually be making them really powerful, although it would make the sword dance up thing kind of pointless. Maybe it could be something like you can choose to use Jitterbug Duet, Wizardry Waltz, or Tempting Tango, but you can't choose to take the sword dance or something like that. For sword dance, you have to do the random thing. So yeah, in a sense, we would kind of do the thing that I feel like would be useful for a Geomancer. Just have a menu instead of a random chance. Because realistically, when you have a character that can just do effectively the same amount of damage or same amount of potential compared to another class, you're just going to choose that other class. And you're just going to choose the one that is not random, if there's not at least a significant or severe benefit to choosing the one that is random. Alright, we're already confused. Also, by the way, just kind of as a heads up, the bounty for figuring out how many deaths there are for the White Mage solo playthrough has been completed. So if you'd like to watch or look at the death count total and also time total and actually a more detailed breakdown of deaths, Onslaught Gamer went through the VODs and counted them all, added them up, and we have the data now. So thank you very, very much to you, Onslaught Gamer. That is really kind of you. Also, as mentioned before, Onslaught Gamer could now tell us which class and even which version of the game we should play next, including the background and also for which character we should play as. That is, if you have a choice or desire towards one or another. But yeah, thank you so much. You don't have to decide that now. It could be like in challenge run number 16, where you suddenly think, you know what, it would be fantastic if you could just play this one next on, I don't know, the Game Boy Advance version, because that seems like fun. That would be awesome. Yeah, no. Didn't get good enough damage in. It's kind of awkward actually to try and figure out should I reset or shouldn't I, because it's always technically possible to just recover at random, but I feel like the chance of that happening is really low. You wish you played Geomancer on the SNES. I mean, you would have to do a ROM hack for that to implement it there, but it would certainly be possible in that case. Game Boy Advance version overall is just a lot nicer and more polished, honestly. Like, I think it's almost strictly the better version, all things considered. And we're already cursed. And yeah, I guess lag and maybe the sound quality, which isn't even too bad, are kind of the biggest downsides, alongside, to me personally, the resolution. But really, that's about it. Everything else is just an upgrade compared to what you have on the SNES. Hey Quadlight, welcome, I hope you're doing well. You prefer the GBA sounds? Yeah, they're not bad. They're definitely quite fine. It's not as high quality as some people would like them to be, but quite alright. And yes, the SNES version is only Japanese, which means if you want to play English, you need to use the fan translation, which I'm doing right now. Which makes the well, ability names and stuff, just a little bit weird. Although still better than the PlayStation version for that matter. All versions are better than Steam version? I don't know, I've never played it. I think the Steam version has a severe case of it's not necessarily bad, but it could just be so much better type of syndrome. Kind of like Seeker of Mana remake. Fun is better than Final Fantasy VI GBA. Yeah. The thing is, Final Fantasy V has simpler music in the Super Nintendo version overall, so it was easier to get closer to the original, so to speak, whereas the Final Fantasy VI music is just so much more complex and complete and full that it's pretty much impossible for the Game Boy Advance to properly emulate it. That's the correct flower. That's good damage. You really did not like that bottom left flower, did you? I'm going to try and confuse this one. Bitterbug Do It is actually magic based, and because the flowers have so much magic defense, it doesn't help. And we are confused. Maybe I should just not even try to confuse them. At least as a dancer, it was a 1 in 4 chance. As a Geomancer, it's only a 1 in 8, excuse me, to confuse them. You got the PS1 version? Yeah. It is definitely slower, but I think PlayStation 1 version is actually not that much slower. Like, it's not terrible in my opinion. And in a lot of cases, actually prefer the PlayStation versus music over the Super Nintendo one. Unfortunately, I don't have my PlayStation version with me. Ha! 11 damage. Two casts in a row. Do you really want to die, Wells? Because it's it sure feels like it. Wow. Wow, all of the little flowers just skipped their turn. I was ready to reset already, but we might have a shot at it. But the shot, yep, seems to be pretty low. Front flower attack, please. A bit late, but it's okay. And immediately confused. Thank you, welcome to you. Hope you're doing well. Like Chrono Trigger, the Steam versions are just straight ports of the mobile games. Yes. Again, the thing is, I don't think it's necessarily all bad, for at least the Final Fantasy V version that I see, for that matter. It's just, it could be so much better, is the problem about it. Especially the UI, you need to adjust for PC. You can't just leave it the way it is, when if you import it from iOS. It needs adjustments. If I give it a good luck, I can definitely use that. Nice, it skipped its turn, so I get my terrain ability off. Oh, really? You did not hit that one flower that we want to hit, actually. Which is interesting. Let's go for the 1 in 8 confusion. He goes with 100% confusion. This is not good. This is not good at all. T-A-Y, I don't know what that is. You have to use? I still don't know what that is, to be honest. Totally, we cannot block their attacks, unfortunately. Their attacks are completely unblockable and cannot be reduced in damage aside from back rows. The flowers in the back deal half or a quarter damage because we are in the back row and they are in the back row, so half and half. Alright, let's leave it at that. I was thinking as long as I don't get paralyzed, we still have a shot at recovering there, but nah, I just got paralyzed. Curse is effectively paralyzation, which means there's about 3 turns where I can't do anything and I can still get paralyzed. And while I'm paralyzed, I do not get unconfused by their physical attacks. So it's even worse than just regular paralyzation, which is already really bad for a solo character. I like Final Fantasy 9 on Steam, honestly. Personally, I prefer the graphics of the Steam version because PlayStation, it looks a bit dated. Like, it doesn't look bad, but it would be really difficult for me to get into that old style instead. The main problem I had with Final Fantasy 9 is, like usual, the UI. I wonder why it's so difficult to create and develop a proper UI for a game like that. And I think the battle system is pretty much how it was in the original, which I did not really like the battle system. Oh, that's a really good roll there. I did not really like the battle system in Final Fantasy 9. In terms of it, the ATB felt almost pointless. Don't hit all the flowers. Alright. Good damage. I wait a little bit until the big flower gets its move. Then I go, hopefully right after the big flower. I don't really know when it's gonna go. There it is. Alright, the big flower just moved. Basically, I'm hoping to go after the big flower move in case I kill the little flower, which I do. So I have a good shot at just immediately moving them. That's bad timing. But the thing is, I have no real tell or no way to tell when the big flower is moving. Oh, that's really not good. Just the little flower immediately respawned. Another earthquake, that's really good actually. Not 19. Ah, my goodness. This is really not good luck. We need only 12 earthquakes in a row in order to win in theory. But a good roll with Cave-In would also do the trick for that matter. Now we have a 1 in 9 chance to actually get another turn before we get paralyzed and or charmed. Because they have a 1 in the little flowers have a 1 in 3 chance to not do anything on their turn. So we do technically have a chance to get another turn in, it's just very unlikely. But yeah, 19 earthquakes in a row would be kind of best case scenario in a sense. I did not use any fast forward in Final Fantasy 9. Didn't seem appropriate to me personally. And it was fine. The system is weird, but you can take advantage of it once you start understanding it. But it basically goes to show that the step they took with Final Fantasy X in how the battle system works there, I think it's just kind of strictly better. I've gotten really good damage on the main flower here, so if I get the opportunity, I would like to heal, but it looks like we're not gonna get a chance anymore. Yep. I think what I heard from background guys say is you probably will want to watch the associated movie / video or something like that before playing the game, in order to have more of an understanding and the grip of the story. And then it's actually apparently really good, for that matter. A lot of people try to play Final Fantasy 15 with trying to avoid any spoilers, but you're kind of apparently supposed to watch the movie beforehand in order to have a better understanding of the circumstances, which, well, it's kind of awkward. You know, today we might just sit here and repeatedly try to defeat the Heria plant, which I didn't consider to be that big of a deal. I just figured, well, we need to get lucky, sure. But, well, I may have underestimated how lucky we need to get. The movie's not well written? I have no idea. And I definitely understand that Stan's Asian medalist. That makes sense to me. I believe Kishura played Final Fantasy 15 and enjoyed it quite a bit. I don't think it's a bad game inherently. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know whether it's mandatory. I just heard that you probably kind of should just watch it beforehand. That's my understanding anyways. There's a Final Fantasy 5 movie. I did not even know about that. Good flower. Nice. No, they don't. No. You needed to hit the main flower. Do I go for the one in... No, I don't. Because I could just get an earthquake or a cave-in and the flower is dead anyways. I need to get lucky. So I should not even go for the confusion. 1600 damage. Pretty solid on the main flower there. Good. Not so good. Not good. Not good. Oh my goodness. 1 in 4 chance to hit the same target 3 times after the first one. What is a specific target that we want to hit, so it's not bad. So that's that. Earthquake. Alright. Might want to buckle my seatbelt. Alright. Cave in! Good! Finally, cave in on the flower alone. Because that can be crazy good damage. And it is really good damage. I think it's about a 1 in 3 chance for it to not respawn the little flowers. Ah, then you destroy everything with a gust instead. Come on, Wells. Yep, we are confused. No, we've got the command, and now we're paralyzed. I was so close to recovering. You think the idea is not bad, having a movie in the game intertwined, but starting to do with Final Fantasy is a huge break with its tradition. Is it? I feel like it's kind of the natural evolution of Final Fantasy franchise, to be completely frank with you. Then again, I haven't really paid attention to it, to be completely honest. I don't really necessarily care about which franchise a game is from, but it does give usually a good indication whether it's going in the direction whether I would like the certain things from a series. That's the only thing I use a series for. I'm never actually going to be, or I've never been a fan of a series in particular. Like Bo at some point said, and you call yourself a Mana fan, or a Seeker of Mana fan? No, I like Seeker of Mana, I like Seiken Densetsu 3, I like Legend of Mana, but aside from that, I'm not actually a fan of the series. You were wondering. We need all of those things to skip their turns now. They didn't. It was pretty good damage though. You have the Magos, yes I do. You know that it doesn't block their attacks, right? I can demonstrate it. No, it doesn't. Those attacks are... They completely ignore anything that goes through. And I used additional agility from the dancing dagger and magic power to make maybe a difference. I don't think it does in GBA either. Well, actually I guess it could. I don't actually know that. But let me tell you, the Elemental does not block it. And I'm pretty sure the Magos doesn't block it either. If I'm wrong, that is amazing, and I would be super happy to be wrong, actually. Which is why I'm just trying this right now. Hit the correct flower and 1000 damage to the main plant, so that's good. Arguably better than Earthquake because... Well, actually, here's the thing. I think the flower starts respawning the little flowers more frequently if there is only one or less flowers left. It appears that if there's at least 2 other flowers left, it does not necessarily respawn the others. We got a turn. That's unusual. One flower was correct. The other one wasn't. Then there's Kingdom Hearts, which has its story spread across like 15 games, some of which were Flash games so no longer exist and still makes no sense. Yeah. Story is a difficult subject, I dare to say. Especially when you make spin-offs and then more spin-offs and tie-in games. It can make it really awkward overall. Oh. I never owned a PlayStation 2. I did play Kingdom Hearts, the original one, and I liked playing it. But since I never had my own PlayStation, it just like was... I like playing it. The story is intriguing and interesting. I love the Disney inclusion. But then again, I couldn't really get into the story since it was never mine in a sense. By the way, I have not blocked a single attack so far. I would like to point that out. It's technically possible that it's just variance, and I'm really unlucky with it, but I'm pretty sure I cannot block it. For reference, if you're confused or if you are paralyzed, you cannot block anyways, so it would be kind of a bad indication if you want to just say, oh, but all those hits, you're not blocking. You can't block them if you're paralyzed or confused. So that's kind of an additional part. Good morning to you, alright, welcome, hope you're doing well. Kingdom Hearts has no spin-offs, only non-numbered sequels and prequels, all required for the story. Okay. I don't actually know anything. I'm okay with that. For me personally, the story only becomes interesting when I have played the game for its own merits as gameplay-wise to be interesting enough. And that's when I sometimes start caring about the story. But usually I want the gameplay to be interesting and intriguing first, so it just kind of hooks me and I play more and more, and that's when I start paying attention to the story more. You really don't like that flower on the right side, do you? If at least Gust would kill one of the flowers, if they didn't have so much magic defense, it would already be a lot better. But that's not how it works. 12? 2 12s! Let's see. Let's see real quick. Here you... flower. They have 50 magic defense. And Cave-In goes all the way, I think, from 50 to 200. Then is multiplied with her magic multiplier. So this was almost the minimum roll for a Cave-In damage value. It's actually technically possible that we see a 0 on the little flowers for a Cave-In. Telltale games, you're not a fan of them personally, you just don't like the style of game. I think it can be enjoyable to me. I've never played one of them, but I've seen a bunch of people playing stuff like... I think it's called Blood of the Werewolf. It's looked really intriguing, actually. But it's something that I would play through like once, maybe twice, and then that's it. That's kind of a costly investment for me personally. Alright. I should have reset earlier. Well, I need to schedule it, Magical Fury, so... I don't know. Actually, I haven't even asked. I have to admit, I kind of hoped the other guy would just kind of message me sometimes and say, hey, when do you want to schedule the match? But I'm kind of lazy like that. There's no reason for it. Hey PK Scratch, welcome to you. I hope you're doing well. The Geomancer run turns out to be more luck-based than the Dancer run as it seems. Geomancer has a lot of things going for it, compared to the Dancer, especially in the area of leveling potentially. But unfortunately, that kind of goes both ways. It also has a lot of things not going for it. Wow, that's a lot of damage to the main plant. In theory, we could kill the main plant in 3 attacks if we get super lucky. Although I don't think RNG ever aligns that way. Let's change to terrain on the right side. Maybe we get lucky with the right side terrain. There's no difference between left and right terrain. There's no reason for me to have more than one terrain. No! Frogs are friends, not food. No eating frogs by the way, Rabbi. Please. Ah, fish paralyzed. Pretty good damage so far, so let's just try and play it out. So far we came into here with having 36 deaths. We are at 21 more so far. It's pretty extreme, if you ask me. No! Take the frogs! Yeah! I was sneaky. Wow, yeah. I've failed actually my last 6 or 7 attempts trying to save the frogs. Oh, I got the terrain. Nice. What was reputation / reperso? Neutral. By the way, Quadlight, I feel like we are losing reputation despite not putting any frogs in the food boxes. Is that somehow possible? Because that kind of feels like that is a thing that happens. Since I think there's some people that have never put a frog into the food box, not even accidentally, and have less than 0. Also, I remember being friendly at some point, and now I'm back to neutral, 880. So it feels like I'm losing reputation randomly. I think that's kind of unlikely, Magical Fury. Technically possible, kind of unlikely. So, do I use terrain first, or do I, in order to try and kill off the flowers, or do I just go for the elixir and hope I get another turn sometime? It's a 1 in 9 chance effectively for me to get another turn. And that is only if I'm not confused or paralyzed already. Elixir, alright. We're using an elixir, it has been decided. I think I needed to get lucky there that the other flowers actually skipped their turn, otherwise this was the exact same turn. Oh, I mean, we have like a 5% chance to win in the first place, so I don't expect to win. But right now we have about 5,000 damage on the main flower, so maybe. Maybe. Probably did it. I actually did kinda do that, Quadlight. I put them all into a separate folder. So there's that. Does curse stack? No, it doesn't. Basically, when you are paralyzed... Oh, we got another turn. How nice. When you're paralyzed, the paralyzation does not renew, so to speak. So that's the one thing that is going for us. This was the wrong flowers to hit. Heroes of Hammerwatch. Oh man. Now I kind of want to jump in again. Quadlight, if you don't mind, what are the main changes you would say compared to when I played it last time? Ah, I think the Curse Flower just skipped its... No, it didn't. Which attack am I hoping to pull with Geomancer here? So either Earthquake or Cave-In, which it's a pretty good likelihood of that happening actually, so that's nice. But the problem is really that while Cave-In does really good damage, it's random which 4 targets it targets, and it has a really high variance on how much damage it can possibly deal. So, not terribly reliable. Earthquake at least hits all targets, but only does about 1100 damage, which is solid, but we would need like 12 Earthquakes in a row in order to win, which is kind of unlikely to happen with a 10 in 39 chance at level 38. At least I assume it's 39. Could be 10 in 38 with Earthquake appearing. Effectively, it's kind of like getting a Sword Dance, but instead it's an area effect. And Cave-In, curiously enough, if I level up higher, the higher the chance it will be for me to get Cave-In. Unfortunately, Cave-In is completely fixed damage, and it doesn't scale with whatever I have. Let's trace the left terrain. They changed many of the skills, removed some of added new. They added drinks for buff/debuff combos. They added the forge where you can... Let's just reset when I get the curse like this. Okay. They added the forge where you can craft and attune items in town. They made the fountain predictable so you can balance the effects. So effectively they made it less random in hopefully a good way. Spam this to give Yaga good fortuna. Thank you. I appreciate that. I should make tuna paste sometime. Although I don't know whether I can even get all the ingredients around here. Many other changes? Alrighty. Yeah, I definitely feel like I should give it a shot again sometime. Thank you for the heads up, Quadlight. Yeah, Rise. I've tried that a few times, but generally speaking, it just didn't turn out well. Initially, if I get my very first move to confuse those flowers on the left side there, it doesn't really work out too well. Because it's only a 1 in 8 chance to confuse the flower, plus... if I get anything but a regular attack, Sword Dance, and Confusion, I will not actually be able to deal with them well. And especially once I am blinded, I even have a 3 in 4 chance to miss my physical attack as well. So it's not even all that great anymore. So once in a while I try it when I'm not blinded yet, but it really just doesn't seem worthwhile with the low chance of that appearing. And then on top of that, if I get an Earthquake, it's just kind of, well, Confusion is gone now, that's unfortunate. Or if the Cave-In just hits that flower, which is not too unlikely either, it's just also gone. Well, I might as well just use Terrain. Hey Philip Bobcat, welcome, hope you're doing well. A gust is a 10 in 38 chance to appear as well. And Gust just doesn't do anything. It can do a tiny little bit of damage to the main flower. Generally it doesn't. Oh. You really didn't like those flowers, did you? Zero! We found a zero! We found a zero on the left flower. That is the literal lowest roll that can happen from a cave-in attack. That's good. Now we hope that the main flower skips resummoning the little guys. Oh, which it just did. That's amazing. And we get a cave-in on top of that. This is looking actually pretty sweet right now. We are at 6,600 damage exactly right now, so that is pretty much halfway through. We just need to get a bit luck here. And it could work out. Hit the left flowers, please. Nice. Hit me. Front flower, please hit me. No. And immediately confused again. On the bright side, because there's at least 3 flowers left, the chance for the main flower to respawn the curse, as in paralyzed flower, is not particularly high. So we only have a 1 in 3 until we have a chance to respawn the thing. Come on. Good rolls, please. No, no, that's really not good. That's not good. I don't want to kill the other flowers. Yeah, this is what happens. On the bright side, it at least also removed the left one. Ooh, that's leaving the worst flowers around. We effectively have a 1 in 9 chance to get a turn every, like, 3 turns or so. The main flower has... how much HP total, actually? Let's double check that real quick. The main flower has 12,000 HP. We are actually within 2,500 range, 2,600, and we would potentially be able to win this. This is looking somewhat promising, but yeah, this is not good. We need to get a turn here soon before we die. And I will use terrain. I'm not gonna use an elixir here. Probably, unless, well, I need. Yeah, no, I don't know. I need to get a turn soon. Very soon at this point. Oh, come on. Please. We were so close. And there's the paralyzed. This is pretty much the death sentence right there. Because any attack plus poison tick will just kill us here. Yeah, that is unfortunate. That was really good. Like, that was kind of proving that it's technically possible for us to win. But unfortunately it didn't happen. Which is worse, poison or HP leak? It always depends on how much HP you have. The more HP you have, the worse poison is, because poison is 1/16 of your maximum HP and damage, and HP leak is about 100 to 200 damage, kind of flat, depending on how quick you menu in a weird way. A technical victory is the best kind of victory. Is it? Did I update the death count, by the way? Oh, right terrain actually served us pretty well earlier. Let's try this again. I'm actually inclined to say that unless I get at least 5,000 damage on the main flower, it's not really worth continuing once I get into that endless back and forth, getting blinked to death again and again type of deal. 1 in 3? Ah. I think it's a 1 in 3 for it to not respawn all the flowers. Kill the left flowers, please. Oh, that's a left flower has now 4 HP. We have a 1 in 9 chance to actually get a turn again. Oh, we did get a turn. But it's Gust. No. That's almost worse than not getting a turn. Almost. I love how the charm flower just goes exactly as fast as it needs to in order for us to not get a turn. It's just so perfect. Just before we get a turn, it confuses us. Is anyone else curious as to why the Geomancer looks like someone is bundled up in for a snowy winter holiday or pajamas? Yeah, I actually have no idea what the design decision for this is. It's a bit strange to say the least. So this is basically RNG the boss fight, yep. And it's not going to be the only one. This will be very much the case for XDeath at the end of World 2 here as well. So, yeah. We just wait, pray, and hope. Not in this order necessarily. I got a turn! Ha! That's unusual. Wrong flower, one flower, wrong flower, wrong flower! Ah, you're just leaving up those flowers. Exactly to spite me, don't you? Oh wow, they actually gave me another turn. That is really nice of you. 1 in 3 chance for it to not respawn the flowers immediately. And it just respawned the flowers immediately. And Gust is literal worst case scenario. 1 in 9 chance again for us to move, because that is the approximate chance that neither the Curse Flower nor the Charm Flower will actually hit us. And at this point I think it's fair to say just reset. Oh. That's weird. The charm just wore off. And it literally just helped us. That was really strange. Okay, I guess we still technically have a chance. Kill the left flowers, please. Left flowers! Left flowers! This is not the worst scenario here. As long as we get one more turn, which is possible, 1 in 3 here, I can heal. Okay. We are still in this. Unfortunately confused us. Thankfully this thing immediately boxes us out of confusion, so we get our turn maybe slightly quicker, but it's still basically 1 in 9 again. To hope that the Curse Flower doesn't attack us. Car boss is usually the first RNG boss fight. Yeah, it's worse for some classes. It actually was quite fine for the Geomancer, because Geomancer has actually a pretty useful ability in the car boss fight. Since it does more than just little dagger damage, let's put it that way. So we have 5,692 damage on the main flower so far. In case you're curious, I'm having open a calculator and just type in the numbers as I see them. Oh, we might get a turn. Oh, no, we're paralyzed still. Never mind, we don't get a turn. But I was kind of curious that the Curse Flower actually knocked us out of confusion, It must have just overlapped with us getting out of paralyzation or so. It's kind of weird. You sure hope you have enough elixirs to last the rest of the run. I don't. I need to farm them. Which is kind of another concern, actually. So the thing is, I don't want to level up beyond level 46 in World 2 here. Because 46 I calculated I deal the most damage in order to try and push X-Def at the end of World 2 into his second AI routine phase. Where I also still have a reasonable chance of the wind attack to appear, which deals the most damage out of everything it can do. Alternatively, we have calculated we want to probably level up to level 60 in order to maybe attempt to do physical damage to X-Def at the end of World 2. But then I also figured that, you know, the chance for Sword Dance to appear, which would be one of our best shots, is kind of still lower than for one Wind Slash attack to appear. And yes, well, Xcodes, you were probably just arriving at the end then. We basically just arrived here last stream. I gave it like 2 or 3 attempts, and that's about it. But yeah, we've been here before, and we're just kind of still here. Harn Geomancer, yep. Rabbi is a Geomancer, maybe. We always guessed it was a representation of shamanic magic used by the Ainu and Siberian shamans, and the Santa suit was somewhat inaccurate reflection of that. Huh. Here's at least some explanation. Interesting. Geomancer Rabbite. And hey Anonicus, welcome. Doing quite alright, thank you. How are you doing? Oh, it concerns you. It should, because that's just going to be here for a while, really. Because Cave-In is nice, it can deal with a lot of damage, but it targets random enemies. Plus the little flowers even have a chance to survive it, because they have 100 HP and 50 magic defense, which is crazy. And then we also have a 10 in 38 chance to get Gust instead of a regular attack. Alright, we are already confused. We didn't deal any damage to the main flower yet. That's not true. 768 damage we did deal. And I'm actually going to walk outside now. What I will want to do is, let's see, how far are we away from another level? Actually really close. We should see a little bit more maximum HP, and in case we get an earthquake, it might deal more damage. I'm not sure about that. Either way, if I get a single zombie dragon, I will just use a Phoenix down to kill it. But I also realized that I actually could buy a better hat. Oh, that gives us +1 more magic power, but aside from that it doesn't do anything. It's at least a little bit of a change of pace for what I can or cannot do for that matter. Hey Ash the Husky, welcome, hope you're doing well. Yeah, if you use this thing on a single target, it does a load of damage. Yeah, Cave-In is not affected by magic power, only Earthquake. Cave-In is effectively Meteor. It's quite literally the same formula, except I think it's Earth damage, which should be affected by... the thing that I'm wearing. I forget its name. The Gaia gear. Also, let's equip the Elf cape again while walking outside. Here's hoping Earthquake is better, indeed. Gaia gear is really nice. I like that piece of equipment. Doesn't it also make you absorb Earth element, or was that a different thing? Might be a different game. Which one are the sorcerers? So we are at least level 39 now, so the chance for cave-in has increased from 18 in 39 to 19 in 40. Probably. Final Fantasy 6, I see, that's what I remember then. So, here's the thing. I wanted to actually check real quick that I could already farm elixirs over here. I don't know whether we even get to those specific enemies that I'm looking for. We'll just check it real quick. Also, I really don't like those ridicules, because they just do that. Yeah. I don't even bother removing the zombie status until I'm away from the ridicules. Because this is ridiculous. Haha. So let's see real quick, what do we get here? Also, I think this is still the dark background, so I'm not even going to deal nearly as much damage as I hope I would. Although the beach should be better now, with having a higher chance for big tsunami. Wait, does that beach even have big tsunami? I don't think it does. So I think I still get the same encounters. So I don't think this is the same zone. So basically on the top left of this area here just now, I do have good encounters against 4 little cure beasts. Those are the yellow little rabbits. And they have a 1 in 16 chance to drop elixirs, which I will have to farm elixirs anyways. So I figured might as well do that for leveling, but unfortunately can't get there right now. And again, I need to farm elixirs and I need to farm wall rings, so I also don't want to be higher than level 46. Which means this is going to get really awkward when I'm going to be trying to meet both of or all of those requirements. Oh, I guess I already have the tricorn hat, don't I? I thought it was a different helmet, or was it over here? No, I guess I already have the helmet. I thought it was a different magic power thing. I'm probably thinking of what we get in more. Isn't stealth agility gear? It is, yes. If we got a little bit under agility, that would actually help. But we can't equip it. Stealth is Taleth. I mean, that's true too. But the problem is you neither find any runes in this game nor any 2-socket equipment, so doesn't exactly help, unfortunately. So I guess we're just going straight back. Not really much to do. And once again, I don't feel like it's good for me to grind at all. As much as it is tempting to just kill solo zombie dragons, because I don't want to be above level 46, and I need to get so many more elixirs and wall rings. It will be really awkward. He gets to stay in PJs. He does. Nice and comfy. So now I've ground up 99 elixirs in the Wind Shrine. Yeah, or the ship graveyard. I would probably prefer the ship graveyard, just because every encounter inside at least has a chance to drop elixirs. At minimum 1 in 16. Did you just skip your turn? You know, that kind of removes the point of you attacking me. That's silly. Smoke, I'm not that stressed. I don't need an Nephilim. However, what I could use is a Ral Orbital shield. Unfortunately, Geomancer can't equip a shield, so that's kind of useless. We can now give the Rabbi the class change. That would be interesting. I have no idea what that is, Dark JDL. I only know the very basic rune sets that you use for speedruns. I like Untier, which would actually be really good against Dexdeath. But we don't get those either. I have never done any of the higher rune words at all. Smite is fun. Good blocks. Oh. I mean, most magical abilities don't miss, which is nice. Although, Smite is one of the few abilities that is physical and doesn't miss. So it kind of makes it amazing like that for dealing crushing damage. Mentioned getting a Zots drop in chat. I see. Yeah, it can happen. That's unlikely. But eventually, if you have enough repetition, it will happen. Alrighty, back to attempting to do this, I would say. If nothing else, the RNG is now changed up a little bit, so maybe we see slightly different results. On the other hand, I haven't really seen any repetition of what has occurred so far. At least not particularly much. We'll see. The exact wrong plans to get removed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to wait until the far left... Never mind. I'm out of here. I wanted to wait until the far left flower is going to respawn and then try to hope for an earthquake. But that doesn't work. Also, I'm gonna equip the Angel Ring and Dancing Dagger already, that way I don't have to worry about equipping that again. Life is unfair. It might be. Hi. Bye. Just when you get a full trunk all set, please do not try to kick any barrels. White is pretty solid. I've gotten white in a Necromancer speedrun at least once. Earthquake. Let's start. Plus 11. 1 in 3 chance for us to be able to attack. Oh, never mind. We're already confused. That was 1056 damage total. Not really worth hoping to get out of confusion, paralyzation hell there. I guess that was kind of the one big deal about the Dancer, isn't it? The Dancer had both the ribbon and also the acquisition of the bone mail. So at least it was very deterministic which flower we needed to keep killed, even if it wasn't exactly reliable. But at least we could target our attacks. Geomancer is a lot worse than that. Herald of Saccharum, I don't know what that is. Greetings to you, Dorigrim. Welcome. How are you doing? Oh, really? You just come out of there and immediately charm me. I guess I could have tried to play it out, because the other flowers could have attacked me too and immediately knocked me out of the charm, and I might actually get my turn, so I should have waited a little bit longer. No, I don't know most of the unique equipment in Diablo 2. I've played a bunch of on Battle.net when I was younger, but I've never played long enough to, for one, even realize that there's English names for stuff, because I played in German, and for two, to get much of anything that was worth particularly much. I mainly played before patch whatever point 11, I think. You know, where that was basically before they implemented synergies of skills with each other, and for that matter also rune words. I did not know anything about rune words. "20 hours to go." That's a nice estimate. That sounds about right, actually. But yeah, I did not even realize that there was even the concept of rune words when I started playing later. It was actually... Did I just never know about this, or was there just no rune words? Either way, I have no idea that was a thing. You really don't like those flowers, do you? Just stomp them. 1 in 9 chance to get another turn here. And we don't. It's only 1000 damage on the main flower, so not really worth hoping to get another turn. Yeah, the thing is, when I play Diablo 2, in online anyways, I had a random guy just tell me, "Hey, come over, I want to give you some stuff." And, well, he just kind of enlightened me. I was playing a druid, mainly wolf druid. I really like playing just feral druid, with the many quick attacks, you know. So, what he gave me was, he told me, "Hey, I give you this weapon here," and he gave me, I think it's called a Brisa, a heavy arbalist with really quick attack speed. And I figured, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't want to use ranged. And he just told me, just put some bolts into your offhand slot in order to be able to attack with it and try to attack the enemies. And I did it, and it's just like, whoa, I was absolutely demolishing enemies with that. Once again, that was before the patch that made everything a lot more difficult. So it was actually a lot of fun to just absolutely destroy a lot of enemies. That's definitely one of my favorite memories of that. Just random guy gave me a pretty awesome item. And even shows me how to use it properly. It was really sweet. I also had another random guy just... At some point, I accidentally released the items from my body. I did not play hardcore, by the way. I died somewhere in the Antel, or Act 2 or something like that. And that was on a low-level paladin or something like that. And I thought people actually took away my equipment because I couldn't find it anymore. I just complained a little bit about it and was pretty unhappy. Another guy just told me, "Hey, that really sucks." And he just told me, "Hey, come over to this game, I'm gonna give you some stuff in return." And he gave me an entire Saigon set. That was really awesome. I've actually met a lot of awesome people there. And then I actually went back to the other game where I was just questing alongside with my new Saigon set. Went back into the Antel and whoops, my equipment was still there, I just didn't find it. But yeah, I found nice people. I tried to talk to the other guy again, but I had no idea how to whisper, so it was really awkward. I felt kind of bad for just getting items for free. Synergies is great for beginning. It is. It's actually really awesome. I also like how it looks. Commodore was a really great smite it in. I see. I played a druid for the most part that was called Menos. It's actually kind of curious. I just kind of randomly, okay, let's go. It's only 3000 damage in main flower. I made a druid named Menos, and I had no idea that this name would be used in other contexts and stuff. I just kind of made it up myself. I was kind of curious when I recently played Evoland 2 and was like, oh, that guy is called Menos. That's curious. Or alternatively, when I played Ragnarok Online, at some point I made a mage called Legaia. I've never heard of the Legend of Legaia, by the way. I did not even know that was a game, and at some point, some dude asked me, hey, have you played Legaia? And because my English was so bad, I didn't really know what he was talking about. Like, I thought maybe he was asking me whether I'm actually playing or whether I'm a bot. And so I said, sure, I played it. Only later I realized that he was actually talking about a game being played. You really don't like that flower, do you? We've seen that now like, what, 3 times that it hit this flower 3 times in a row. 1 in 9 chance to get a turn here. Nope. We're going. Reset. Nice. I never really got to the rebirth classes. I was too lazy to level. And it worked for a while until people actually became really high level with their rebirth classes, and then suddenly my wizard was just not all that useful anymore in World of Warcraft. War of Imperium anyways. I made a lot of weird builds in Ragnarok Online just for fun. At one point, I made a hunter. And I wanted to make a hunter that just triggers the falcon pet all the time, very frequently. So what I did is I put all the points into luck. And I literally didn't put any point into dexterity. You know, dexterity and vitality was opposing in when you create a character, so you usually choose either 9 vitality or 9 dexterity. It would have made sense to at least give him a little bit of dexterity, since vitality was kind of pointless. But nope, I just went for vitality, luck, and agility. That's all I did. It was fun, the falcon procced actually very frequently, but what I didn't realize is that damage of the falcon is also based on dexterity. So I didn't deal nearly as much damage as I hoped it would. So I just liked extreme builds. It was kind of fun to play that hunter. Because the falcon kind of flew all the time, which is neat. But a fan of the XL, yeah. I mean, there were, at least on International Ragnarok Online, there were so many bots running around. It was easy to assume that a player was a bot. In European, it was actually a lot less common because they were a lot more active about, well, banning and removing the players that are botting, so it was actually a lot nicer in that regard. And we're already paralyzed. Is it not because grasp? You put points in strength and vitality so you could survive close range of finish enemies that made it past your arrows. That makes sense. The thing is, optimal builds really are only relevant once you get into really high levels, I would say. Before that, vitality can save you. And let's say 10 points into vitality are really handy to have. Strength, I personally would say, really don't matter for an archer, aside from maybe leveling up as a novice to be able to become an archer, which can make it a bit nicer. But I feel like with enough dexterity, your minimum damage and guaranteed chance to hit as a novice anyways was still kind of okay, and wasn't too bad to just run with that instead. Really? 2 ghosts? Oh my goodness. I mean, in my book, when I basically first started playing Ragnarok Online, there was 2 types of builds that were viable for melee or generally classes. The one was either, let's say as a swordsman, you put points into vitality in order to take as little damage as possible and regenerate really fast, or you put points into agility, which wouldn't pay off until way later when you have really high agility and also the appropriate equipment to increase your chance to dodge by a lot more. But it was essentially the trade-off of, you go for vitality early, it is way nicer to just play because you can actually play rather than sit around for ages or invest a lot of money. But later on, vitality was just slow in comparison. But in my book, it was just that trade-off. Do you want to have a nicer early game or a nicer late game? And the higher level I got, the more I realized, well, I now have enough experience to know how to get past that early game reasonably efficiently, so I didn't really care too much about vitality anymore. That's when I switched for good, basically. One thing you had in Ragnarok Online was the 0.01% chance drop rates. Yeah. Not great, I agree. I mean, it is kind of necessary. In a weird kind of way, though. Bards are fun. I actually made a bard on a secondary account because there was basically that one song that bards were using in order to help in War of Imperium, for the most part. And that one song was Magical Strings. It had different names. Effectively, based on your dexterity, it reduced the cast time your characters had, or the wizards had, which at some point became kind of pointless or obsolete because really high level wizards would have so much dexterity that the cast time inherently is already really low. But the second property, which most bards didn't really go for, is high intelligence, in order to reduce the amount of time you have in your after the cast delay. And what I did is, of course, kind of like the other one, I just made a bard that had basically only intelligence. Later on I realized having at least a little bit of dexterity for both being able to level myself and also for that matter to increase the reduce the cast time for wizards or casters that were not quite as high level was probably a really good thing. And we're in the endless cycle already. Are we? I guess we can technically survive this. 1 in 9 chance to get a turn here. Nope. Alright. Was worth waiting for it. We dealt 2,222 damage to the main flower. Still far away from 12,000, but oh well. We already had at least one attempt that was really promising. It just didn't quite work. Just need a bit more luck. And yeah, that was weird. I actually never really understood that since I never played Super Novice myself. But in Super Novices just could do really wacky stuff. It was kind of fun. Where you could get ridiculous amounts of stats in certain aspects. And wasn't it also that if you reach level 99 as a Super Novice or as a Novice and never died, you also get plus 10 to all stats, which was just insane to think about. Because plus 10 to a max stat is already quite a big deal. And only later there was actually a chance to reset the amount of deaths you had by introducing a soul link curse and just getting ridiculously lucky with the soul links. One in 3 chance for me to be able to get another attack here. Oh, or not. I guess it just resets, I didn't notice. This happens way more frequently than it should, only exactly hitting that top bottom flower. Did I use the left or the right terrain? And we're confused. We only have 2000 damage on the main flower, so let's just reset. It looked like a really good start, but only 2000 damage on the main flower, not really worth my time. I'm looking for at least 4000, preferably like 5000 if I want to just wait it out, hope to get another turn. How long is this going for? Until we win. Well, or I need to close the stream because it's getting late, which it kind of is getting late already. So effectively we just need to get lucky. Really, really lucky. I don't know what the probability is because there's no easy way to calculate that here. But it's very unlikely that we win, but eventually we will. Oh, that's right, Dark JDL. I forgot about that. And we're already paralyzed. That's not what I meant to do. In case you're wondering what the cheats file loaded is, by the way, that is in order to enable the jobs from the very beginning. I just never bothered to disable it because there's no point. Because with the next job challenge, we will just enable it again. There's a little text at the bottom left of the emulator once in a while, where you can see what is happening. Let's say I'm going to probably go like to 75 deaths, I would say. Also, really high rolls for damage, but unfortunately didn't hit the main flower. That's unfortunate. I think today I'm going for... yeah, 75 deaths, and then... because I started streaming a bit late, that's unfortunately it already for me. But hey, that's okay. One in 9 chance to have to get another turn here. Nice, we actually got one, I think. Yeah, we got. And another 1 in 9. Wells, please, come on. Not worth it anymore. We are under 2000 damage on the main flower. The last 2 attempts, 74 and 75 deaths, I will go ahead and just play out no matter what. Which actually means, after this death, I will want to just play it out rather than reset immediately. Because that would be the 74th next round. Assuming we don't win just now, which would be great. $2,064 damage. Unfortunately, it's a 1 in 3 whether we even get a chance to go now. Actually, it might be less. Because I think the other flower on the bottom left also has a chance to go right now. The paralyzing brown. Doesn't look like it's going, but oh well. 1 in 9 chance to get a turn here. That's usual. Nope, we don't get one. If we are both paralyzed and confused, I'll just reset again. Curiously enough, the paralyzing flower is just kind of skipping its turns so frequently. Oh, now we are also paralyzed. Let's go. Alrighty. Those next two ones I will play out no matter what. So, should I use the left or the right terrain ability? What do you guys think? There's no difference. There's literally no difference. It's one is on the left, one is on the right. There's no reason for me to have a second terrain ability. It's just for fun. Left is always right. The terrain that lets you win. I see. We have one left, we have one right. But Roskondor was quicker, so I'll just go left next. Alternate. I could alternate. Alright, I agree with you, Pika Strash. Let's just alternate. Ah, that was not a good choice, unfortunately. Another ghost. 22 damage! If we get another 3 of those, we actually are at 1000 damage to the main flower. And we're paralyzed. Confused. Immediately out of confusion, but we don't get a turn. 1 in 9 that we get it next time. Oh, we actually get it. Another ghost. I feel like the alternation doesn't work out in our favor. Just plain fight would be more consistent? No. The main problem with trying to just physically attack is that I'm also getting blinded, which means 3/4 of my physical attacks will miss. I was actually strongly considering just trying to kill off the left flower and the bottom left flowers. Just only those, and leave the other ones alive. That way the main flower would have a lesser chance to resummon the little ones. And just kind of physically attack them. But I don't have a reliable way of physically attacking or even dealing single target damage, which is kind of the problem about that. If I had a reliable way of dealing a single target damage, I would potentially just go for it. So dance doesn't miss, yes, it's only a 1 in 9 chance, 1 in 8 chance of happening on an attack though, which is the main problem, Darshadiel. A confusion attack would also kind of be a good result, so I guess that's 2 in 8. But only 1 in 4 attacks of the physical variety, if we don't get a 50-50 dance, will actually hit. So, in a sense, it's 3 in 8 chance to actually have something good happening when I physically attack. It's actually better odds than anticipated, now that I think about it. But still, it's only 3 and 8, it's nothing reliable. No, that's not how it works. There's not just 2 possibilities for sword dance. Effectively with the dancing dagger, we have a 50% chance to proc the dance move in the first place. So half of the time it's just a regular physical attack. And the other times, it's a 1 in 4 chance to be sword dance, a 1 in 4 chance to be a jitterbug to it, which absorbs HP from the enemy, like the drain spell from the black magic, and then 1 in 4 to drain MP from the enemies, like the black magic spell. No, I don't like doing that, Archadiel. And then it also is a 1 in 4 chance to have the sword dance, which is an attack that never misses and deals 4 times attack damage. So on average, you actually would deal more damage with a dancing dagger. If you get a bit lucky, it's even more. If you get unlucky, it's a lot less. Oh yeah, did update my death counter? That was 74. Alright, last attempt here. Now let's put it this way, Darkshadale. Nothing against you specifically, but I personally dislike when people just kind of start making up stuff. And the less informed viewers just have no idea what is not true or not. Especially, let's say, in the marathon run, where a runner just goes, alright, this is going to be a really difficult thing. And then he just one-shots the boss within half a second. I don't like when runners do that, personally. Because it's... what's the word? Well, it just confuses people that actually don't really necessarily know anything. Of course, anybody who knows a little bit more about the game or is more into the speedrunning scenes will usually immediately recognize, but oh well. You like testing? That's fair. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just explaining to you why I personally am not a fan of it. I would like to point out that we just had all the little flowers, all 5 of them, not do anything. They have a 1 in 3 chance each. That is very unlikely to happen. Alrighty, one of the flowers died. I'm actually very tempted to try the dancing dagger here on the left flower, and then just physically attack the main flower, hoping for more sword dances, but then I would have to be in the front row. Not sure. Tune in next time when we get an infinite number of monkeys on typewriters and wait until they type the complete works of Shakespeare. Which would only work if the monkeys were actually perfectly random. Which they are not. Aww. We had such a good start here. Yeah, don't worry, Darkshadiel, I believe it. But most people are not going to write that or say that for that matter, I dare to say. You don't know how monkeys operate, might just as well be random. Monkeys are surprisingly... well, I guess not so that surprising, but are pretty smart overall, at least for an animal. So... they would more likely to be resorting to pattern than not, I think. Eventually, anyways. If they are even interested in the typewriters. I feel like those typewriters are going to look really messed up rather quickly, though. No one has ever been happy to see Geo go Gust. Yep. So yeah, this was actually a pretty solid last attempt, I would say. We had 6071 damage, which is more than half. Well, it was pretty good. And that is exact death. Alrighty, that is it for now. Bit of a shorter stream because I had to do some IRL stuff. And well, I hope you enjoyed the stream regardless. And let's hope for a bit more luck next time. Tune in next time when it goes for random discussions until the Geomancer hopefully wins. Once again, thank you very much for watching, for listening and for lurking, and take care of yourself. Until next time.